Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Mage, and today I have with me one of my first Shoutcast partners and probably the oldest one, Mog Skynet. So, for those of you that have not listened to any of the ones where Mog is in it, you should go ahead and do that. But we'll give you a quick refresher. So, Mog, why are you here?
Well, I'm here to cast this beautiful replay with you, my favorite casting partner and only casting partner. And yeah, it should be a good game. We got some good solo players. For those of you that don't know me, I've been playing in FML for the past, gosh, I don't even know, maybe 4 or 5 seasons. Haven't ever done very well until last season. And I used to play solo way, way back, but all of those skills have worn off by now. So
Yeah.
here I am.
And we're actually relatively sure that Rectify was playing on his account last season, so we'll see if he can repeat it. But he is the only person to have 2 wins so far in FML. He managed to go 2 for 2 in his first two, so we'll see if he manages to choke it away or if he qualifies for the finals again directly.
Highly likely to choke away.
Yeah, but making fun of Mog aside, let's go ahead and talk about this replay. So this is the Play Free For All show match. What this was a bunch of pro solo players put together to see what would happen. We can call it an experiment of sorts. It has nothing to do with the FML show matches, which were 2 solo pros and 2 FML pros. Instead, this is just a bunch of very well-known solo players to duke it out and to kind of see what happens in a natural free-for-all environment with people that don't play. So we're going to start in the top right corner where we have War Chief Rich. He probably doesn't need much introduction, but he is currently the best Night Elf in Europe and possibly the entire game. He's done extremely well recently, and he is on a tear. He is also playing in FML, although has not had particularly good results. On the bottom right, we have Inquisitive Hawk, or Hawk for short. He is one of, if not the best Russian player at the moment. He's been around forever and has put up solid results throughout all eras of the game, playing with be it the old school pros or the new school pros. He has played in several free-for-all matches before, but to my knowledge does not have a win in either the Play Free-for-all or FML matches, although his lack of talking and failure to scout properly probably has more to do with it than anything else. He has certainly been impressive micro-wise, and if he could just nail down that macro and free-for-all sense, I think he could be a very solid free-for-all player. In the bottom left, we have Ludix. This is actually the account that Calypso plays on, another well-known Russian free-for-all solo pro. Unlike Hawk, he's actually taken to free-for-all like a duck to water. He has studied up hard. He plays FML and has played for the past 2 seasons, and he plays more free-for-all than pretty much anybody I know. He started off with the same errors that most solo players make, but since then he has really taken great strides. Our last player is Qwest. He's more of a macro-based player. He uses a lot of manip. He has a lot of very good fast expansion builds. He gets a lot of gold quickly, and this allows him to have a very good late game, but he'll definitely be the weakest of the players in terms of battling. That being said, he can probably still keep up. He did very well in one of the Play Free-For-All seasons. I believe he might have even won a Play Free-For-All event, although I'm not positive. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get this replay started in 3, 2, 1, go. So just some initial first thoughts based off of the spawn points. It does look like Hawk and Calypso are next to each other. They're both Orc though, so it'll be interesting to see if they do want to fight with each other. My guess is they'll probably go towards their outside since they do have free expansions either way, but the middle expansion could be one that's contested. Both Qwest and Rich have great spawns here, left alone, and at least one in between the other 2 players, and 2 up top. So I expect at least Qwest will see go ahead and just mass a bunch of expansions. Rich is a little more aggressive and most likely will try to fight with Hawk, although he may go ahead and just hit everybody.
Yeah, let's just be real. These solo players all just want to hit everybody, and I think we're going to see a lot of that this game. Apart from Qwest, who I think is just going to make about 1,000 towers and try to get 30,000 gold.
Yeah, the problem is he plays a race that doesn't really condone itself to massing
I
towers.
know, it's kind of
Even
odd.
as a Night Elf player, it's very easy to take him down.
Yeah, definitely. I think if he played Orc or Human, he might have more success, but also more hate from people because of the annoying style. But, to each their own. An interesting thing we see here is War Chief Rich is getting Priest of the Moon first.
Yep.
And I don't think I've ever seen anyone do that on this map. I mean, anyone good, at least. So We'll see.
I was
We'll
gonna
see
say
how
he's
that
actually
plays
been
out for
opening
him.
up with Priest of the Moon first more often now. We'll almost certainly see a hunt build out of him because
Right.
War Chief does like his hunts.
Yes.
So let's
Solo.
just go talk about that for a little while since we don't have anything else. It's not that Priestess of the Moon itself is uncommon. It is certainly not an uncommon hero, and it's a very good hero in free for all. However, you
Right.
don't gain much advantage by getting it first at all.
Nope. I mean, your Huntresses, if you get 2 Ancient of Wars, they get like +2
Yep.
attack or something.
I was gonna say if you are going for an early rush, then you do have that. But I mean, Priest of the Moon is good for three things, which is more than we can say about most heroes: the Scout Owl, the Aura, and then the level 6 Starfall.
Yeah. And she rides a white tiger, so she's got 4 things going for her.
I was gonna say, well, that one's just kind of it tops everything, and
Right.
honestly, nobody else can compete with that. However, what I was gonna say is on this map you should be seeing 542, 533, something like that by the time you're done creeping. There are plenty of creeps and plenty of big creeps. So when you
You
get that
should.
Priestess of the Moon to level 3 as your third hero, then you're already in good shape, and you get something like the Panda at first, or maybe you go Priestess of the Moon second, get a 5-4, 5 Panda, 4 Priestess of the Moon. You're in very good shape with a Priestess of the Moon, and really you only want it to hit level 6. However, when you get it first, you're going to get that to level 10 first, and that doesn't do nearly as much good as a Demon Hunter or a Panda or a Dark Ranger would high levels.
Look at what Rich is doing. Sorry to cut you off. I tried to ping it, and then I realized we're watching replays, and I couldn't ping.
Are we going for the harassment currently, or is there
He
something else?
he was harassing with his level 1 Priest
I
of
was
the
going
Moon.
to say, I've been watching that. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's really not the way you should be opening up here.
This map has such great items
Yeah.
and creeps. Obviously, it's one of the oldest and probably best free-for-all maps. Maybe a little bit orc favored, but other than that, maybe we'll see Rich get like +15 claws on his Priestess of the Moon, and then get flame arrows, and have like +80 damage or something.
I was going to
I
say...
don't think so, but it'd be pretty funny.
It would. I suspect that the Priest of the Moon would have a little bit of a hard time staying alive against
Yeah.
2 orcs and an undead. Night Elf heroes staying alive are not really the forte. On the other hand, he is going to go harass the undead now, so there's that.
And we don't even know what ability he got, because he obviously doesn't have Scout Owl, or he would
I'm
just
sure he
scout
got
with that.
flame arrows.
He hasn't used the flame arrows yet.
No, but I'm sure he got them because there's no aura on him. On the other hand, maybe he decided he didn't need an ability.
Maybe he just has that. Yeah, I was gonna say he has that little like, I don't even know, what is that sign with the number 1?
Oh. Somebody's been playing a little too much Dota. The
No, I never played
attributes
Dota.
+1?
I don't know.
Alright, well,
I don't really look at it.
we're not going to talk about that too much longer. We are going to point out that Ludix here, or Calypso, has already done a fantastic job of teching up. However, he is
His
going to combine
items.
forces with Warchief Rich to harass Qwest, who is clearly the biggest threat at level 1 with no expansions right now.
Then tier 1 with no tech.
Yeah. I was going to say, I'm guessing that he is going to be taken out. Oh, and Warchief Rich is bringing in the Huntresses now, so
Oh
we
my
are going to
gosh,
have
this is gonna be an awesome game.
So,
Look
I'm
at
thinking...
Hawk, he's just happy as can be, creeping in the middle.
Yep. And, I mean, it's kind of weird that Calypso won the opening he did, but you can see he's already gotten 2 +6 claws on his Blade Master, so that actually worked out relatively well for him. His Blade Master's going to be pretty ferocious. I'm guessing he's going for quick Wyverns. Yep, does look like he is. And get out that Torn Chieftain second, so he'll be able to creep up very quickly with that. So not an uncommon opening for Orc, although not the most common as well. Hawk, on the other hand, going more for the brute force approach, getting out 4 grunts, 1 more than we usually see from our Orcish brethren. But it's working out pretty well for him. He does have the highest heroes so far. And Qwest is going for the pretty typical Fiend and Death Knight opening. He's a little bit delayed now due to his Acolytes dying, but he does look like he'll go ahead and try and get an expansion up. Which, speaking of expansions, we don't have any yet.
I was just gonna say, Rich is going for the tier 1 Huntress no expansion build in free-for-all, which is always good. And I mean, normally these openings, especially with all the harassing, just for newer players, it's not really ideal. I mean, this game is not going to hurt them that much because no one has expansions. But I mean, by now, most players in FML at least are going to have at least 2 expansions.
Yeah,
So-
and to expand upon that, what Mog is talking about, so say you harass 1 person, or even 2 people extremely well with your Blade Master. the difference in experience between that and creeping is still great, and you're leaving that fourth player out there that's going to have just so much better items, so much more gold, and will be so far advanced compared to everybody else. So while you can reasonably well keep at least one person down to your level, it's always going to be that extra person that plays it out, which is why a lot of the time solo players don't do that well. Because they think, oh, I'll go ahead and take somebody out, and they do dominate one person. But mass gold can make up for a huge skill difference later on, and it may not be the most fun to watch. However, somebody who towers up and gets a ton of gold is going to win the game just as easily as somebody who can solo every player out.
Right, because we've seen this recently in two other games. I don't want to spoil anything, but actually I can't say without spoiling. Never mind, let's just change the thought.
It does look like Calypso is going to go ahead and get his first expansion up. Qwest, interesting choice of the Necropolis out here. I kind of like this. It gives him a little bit more flexibility as to where he TPs into. The only thing that I will say is he's leaving himself very vulnerable to air harassment or even bats taking down his expansion further back there. It'll depend on see if he towers it up, which most likely he will. But that could make it very hard for him to deal with Orc later on. And we do see Hawk and Qwest both kind of in the middle here doing what they do. Hawk went for the Shadow Hunter second, which there's a wide variety of opinions on whether or not you should go Torn Chieftain second or Shadow Hunter second. My personal one is Torn Chieftain second because I think that's better, but you do see a lot of people, such as Persuade even, who will say that the Shadow Hunter should be second.
Well,
or think it's viable.
I'll just give my opinion, which is probably not right either, but I think it depends a lot on the map. Big maps like this, I think the Tarn Chieftain's better. You can creep it higher level, you can get good items. The Shadow Hunter, you're not gonna. It's great for early engagements, which is why we see solo pros get it second most of the time, because in solo they're always gonna get second.
Mm-hmm.
And so it can be good on smaller maps where you're thinking you're going to have early engagements with other players. Speaking of early engagements, we have one. Rich hunt rushing. I guess it's not a rush anymore, but he's still tier.
I was gonna say it's just mass hunt.
But,
but he is teching to tier 2 now, so
finally.
There's that.
And he is building 2 expansions. So.
And unfortunately for Hawk, he just lost all of his grunts to the Wind Riders. Doubtful it would do very much to begin with, but it would help to have at least something to buffer. And War Chief Rich is kind of being driven off by 2 towers right now.
Well, towers are pretty good against Huntresses.
They are, and
this Priest of the Moon
is not particularly good against Orc heroes, especially a Blade Master Shadow Hunter.
Oh.
On the other hand, Rich could probably go ahead and just push with his Huntresses right now if he wanted to. And he did get an expansion up, so far we are left with Hawk being the only one expansionless. And it really is baffling that there are only 3 expansions out of the possible 12 that could be up right now. It's not uncommon to see the red camps not creeped at this point, but all the middles should be. And it's kind of commonly accepted that every player gets 2 of the middle expansions. Calypso playing this very interestingly to me. He has really changed into a more free-for-all based player who wouldn't go around harassing like this and instead would be doing some pretty hard creeping right now, trying to get the items and trying to get all the experience he can. However, he is harassing Qwest. I'm wondering if that's just because he knows Qwest is a weaker player compared to him, or if he kind of feels that this is a solo game and is going back to that style of play because he thinks he won't be able to creep. He is splitting up his army now and doing a little bit better job, as I'm watching Rich chase down the Torn Chieftain and see if he can get a kill off on that. And actually, Ludix might be able to. Nope.
Ludix could have probably, but I think to expound on what you were saying, I think it's a little bit of both. I think in this game especially, it's a show match with mostly solo players, and I think Ludix is kind of just playing into that because as we clearly see, he has really improved his free-for-all game. I would consider him one of the best free-for-all players currently, especially the best Orc one. Sorry, lightweight, but just in general, his micro's great, his macro's improved, he makes a lot better decisions. Just in general, I think he's a really good player now.
And I agree with all that, but I was laughing in the middle of your statement because Rich just realized he was hitting Hawk and not Calypso.
Oh, I missed that. That's great.
Yeah, I was going to say, he just said, I think it was 30 seconds ago or so, wait, I'm attacking Hawk? I thought you were Calypso.
Oh. So. I don't know. Does Hawk What's Hawk's main? I thought he was human.
He
Am I
is.
just totally wrong? Okay.
He plays random in free for all though.
Okay.
And the FML show match, he played Night Elf, which interestingly enough, we had everybody play random, so that created a certain amount of interest. And Hawk actually looks like he will go ahead and grab his second expansion now. Calypso already has his second up as well, so he's in better shape than pretty much everybody. Hawk?
That's his first.
Oh, sorry, Hawk is putting up his first. Calypso's putting up his second.
Gotcha.
And Rich actually has his second as well, so we are going to see even more Huntresses soon.
And what is the Qwest is like? He's let me down here. I was expecting at least 3 expansions and 30 towers by now.
Yeah,
so,
I was going to say, that is a little odd, I've got to admit.
Yeah, his creeping's not that great. I mean, I know he got harassed by 2 players early, which is always really annoying, but...
And continues to be harassed by
yeah.
2 players.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if he gets it together. He's going to get a corner creep, which is always what you want to do on this map.
I was going to say, we still haven't had any of the corner creeps taken and only one of the middles, so those are really big game changers usually, and it can be a completely game-breaking item. I mean, I'm thinking if we get a Torn Chieftain with a dagger on it,
it's like the best combination in the game.
That's just ridiculously hard to beat, and probably would pretty much kill off the undead by that alone.
Creep Jack.
There we go.
Inferno Stone.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Hawk manages to grab the Inferno Stone, so that's a huge pickup there for him. And we could see this Shadow Hunter going down momentarily. It does have a Scroll of the Town portal on it, so nice job by Hawk having that. Did you see who actually got the experience for the kill there?
I think that Hawk did.
I thought so too, but I'm not positive.
I'm not positive either. Actually, no, it was Ludix because this Shadow Hunter was level 1.
Okay.
And now it has decent experience, so... Look at Fortune for just 3-2 heroes. Oh, okay.
So it'd be interesting to see how Rich manages to take down this creep camp.
But look at that Priest of the Moon getting the claws. My dream might be a reality.
Well, let's see if a 15 pops up here.
Let's see if a panda doesn't die here.
I was going to say, this panda really pushing everything right now.
10 hit points. Oh my gosh.
Panda lives on the edge, and that Huntress, I believe, is going to go ahead and take its sacrificial spot, unfortunately.
I would love to see him get Sentinels because he's going to lose another Huntress. I mean, if you have that many
Huntresses... Because it won't matter. Because he's not going to have any Huntresses left by the end of this.
Right, but, you know, if he hadn't have lost so many... What, he had
Dagger
like
of Escape on the Pandarian Brewmaster, so that's not bad at all.
No, it's not bad at all.
And Calypso managing to take down a pretty big creep camp over here. I believe he picked up a Hood of Cunning, unfortunately, so not that great an item, but...
It's
a very good one to take. What?
Yeah, it's decent.
It's decent, but you would hope for bigger.
What you want, but yeah.
And we got the Calypso, Qwest has managed to grab an Ice Shard and Amulet of the Wild. Actually, very good items against Orc. It's just a little bit late in the game. You'd like to see an 80 push right off the bat against the Orc while using those. So not going to happen, but we do have Calypso up to 4-3-2. He's doing pretty well hero-wise. We've got 4-4-2 for Calypso. He'll be 5-4, 5-5-2, 5-5-3, something like that before he's done.
Too many numbers. You're killing me. Oh, we just got a Dagger of Escape on Hawk's Tarn Chieftain. That's great.
And 4-3-2 for Hawk, so he's lagging a little bit behind. And 4-3 for Rich, who is obviously lagging quite a bit behind. We do have... Rich still only has Ancients of War. I was convinced he was going to have some lures up and go for a typical army by now, but apparently not.
No,
maybe he's actually going to go...
Lots of Ancient Protectors. So.
Yep, because they do a lot of good. But maybe he's going to go ahead and go for a typical Chippo army. His heroes would actually fit in pretty well with that. I'm sure he'll pick up a Keeper of the Grove third, and it would just be a little bit of an odd choice to get the Priest of the Moon first as opposed to a game-breaking one. And we do see Hawk has managed to get this Granite Golem enraged as Blade Master, which may die to the creeps momentarily. It does get a TP off there, and probably a very wise TP as Rich came in here as well.
And I don't know that Rich... No, he'll be okay. Maybe.
I was going to say, depends if we get any big stomps or stone throws going on. He should manage to get at least the Granite Golem down. It'll be interesting to see if he manages to get the Rock Golems down as well. Cloak of Flames, not a
that's like
great
the worst.
pickup. I was going to say, maybe better than Ring of Protection, but not by much.
See, I actually would prefer Ring of Protection. I don't know,
I've
maybe
I'm the
only one. Yeah. I'm disappointed at either.
I was gonna say, Cloak of Flames doesn't really do much.
I usually sell a Cloak of Flames, whereas I would
Dark
probably keep a
Ranger
ring.
just barely gets saved in the top left for Qwest. But he does have his Death Knight up to 5, so he's backing that away and
Lich.
probably pick up a 4-3 by the end of this for the Lich and Dreadlord. Let's see what the item here is. Was the Crystal Ball the item there?
Yeah, it's Crystal Ball.
Okay, but yeah, Lich plus 29 attack. So certainly not something you want to see if you are one of the other races, but it does mean that that Lich is probably going to be focused down almost instantaneously.
But he could sell that scroll, or use the Scroll of the Beast and then get another Vitality.
Yeah, and I'm guessing that's what he will do. Probably put that Scroll of the Beast onto the Dark Ranger.
So, surprisingly, the creeps are almost all gone, and all four players are still remaining.
I was going to say, that is highly surprising. And only one red left. Two, if you count the Granite Golems up top right.
I do count them. They are red. But an interesting thing is Ludix is at 80, but he only has 30 lumber. It's always a problem on this map for races that aren't Night Elf. So we'll see if he's able to manage that better.
Yeah, and another interesting thing is that Hawk is going ahead and creeping this with his 5 Blade Master in the middle here. We're going to pop up top here to see Rich creepjack Qwest. Qwest is going to go ahead and pull out here. Only 1 kill, it looks like. And he will manage to back away from those creeps, I guess. Let's see. Inferno, Dagger. Trying to figure out what the item there was. Was it a...
He didn't kill it.
No,
sorry.
for Hawk.
For Hawk.
I actually have no idea what the item was. I see a bunch of Ring of Protections plus 3.
It was a Scroll of Resurrection, I think.
Oh, good call. I don't even notice that.
I think it was.
It was.
I don't know. I wasn't watching.
You're correct.
Thank you. Okay, so Ludix is at 1-0 on his upgrades. I just noticed that. That's kind of a problem at this point in the game.
Yeah, except we've got Hawk at 2-1, which is not particularly great. We've got Rich at 1-0, and Qwest is the only one to break the 2-2 barrier.
You don't want to upgrade your Huntresses.
Well, I don't know. How do you know?
Maybe
play?
Rich does.
It does look like we are going to have a bunch of Ancients of the Wind going up for Rich, so he may be going for a typical Chippo army, or he may just decide to go for Hippo Riders, not entirely sure. Poor Hawk is going to be hit both by Rich, and then he's going to be hit by Ludix in his base. Calypso should have a relatively easy time taking out Hawk, I think.
Yeah, he should just kill him right now.
That would be the smart move. Qwest is trying desperately to take out this last creep camp and not get creepjacked again.
Let me just point out, this is a problem that solo players have when they try to play free-for-all. Or are new and switching over, is their production buildings. They never have enough. I mean, Hawk has over 3,000 gold, and he had 2 bestiaries and 2 spirit lodges.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Which he's not going to use. So if you're sitting at 50 with minimal towers, and you don't want to die, you need to have enough production to where you can pump up to 80 or 100 immediately.
Yep, and you can see Calypso has 6 bestiaries in his base.
Yeah, and he used to do this also, but he's adapted, and it's something I hope more of solo players when they play free for all, and hopefully more of them switch over. It's definitely enjoyable for the scene. But I mean, Rich had 2 Ancient of Wars for the first 15 minutes of the game, so kind of similar problem.
I actually missed it, but it looks like the Priest of the Moon did go down to Qwest right now, and going to go ahead and TP that Keeper of the Grove out. It's too bad that Qwest actually does not have more units right now. This is kind of where his playstyle is hurting him, because he could very easily take out Rich at the moment.
Definitely.
His heroes would absolutely dominate Rich, and he's got 3 expansions to 2. I mean, he's in a good spot at this point. It's just he plays such a passive style and waits for the game to kind of end before he does anything. So,
it would be so awesome. We're not going to see it, and no one would ever think like this in the game, including myself. But if he got invisibility on his Death Knight and just went and coiled the Keeper of the Grove, it would have died. Because it has no paraps, and his moon walls are empty.
I was going to say, and he only has 4
at the
moon
time,
walls.
Yeah.
And that's another good thing to talk about. You always want to have some extra supply, so even if you're at 100 with your expansions, you should build a few extra burrows, a few extra farms, moonwells, whatever, just to ensure that should your expansions go down, you'll still be able to go up to 100. Too often we see people get food locked at like 72 food with a 70 cap because they lost their 3 expansions and they have not yet had time to put up their moonwells. I mean, Rich in this case didn't even rely on the expansions. He only had 70 to begin with. But it's something that could very well get you killed. I mean, you can be doing amazingly throughout the game, have the best heroes, but if you can only put up a 50 food army and your opponent has 100, unless you're playing Orc, then you're probably screwed.
Yeah, and Ludix is pretty much toming Hawk at this point. His heroes are well, not much better, but they are better. And his army is obviously better.
Yep, and
He's
Hawk
got
is
more
at
gold,
a
so
big lumber disadvantage right now. Not compared to Ludix per se, but
yeah,
compared
just
to
in
what
general.
he needs to pump out an army to match Ludix's. I mean, we've got 49 food from Hawk versus a full 80, I believe, from Calypso, yep. And we do see Qwest is forced to TP out here somehow.
This kills me. How Rich can have 4-4-1 heroes at this point in the game when on this map, and he just had bad creeping.
Get bad units to creep was the problem.
Well, that's true too, but that's his own fault. So, I understand. You want to play Huntresses. That's what you're used to, but you need to at least find a way to use them effectively in free for all if that's what you're going to do.
And this is one of the worst maps for it, unfortunately. I mean, they're good for rushing somebody out. Nobody expects to get rushed out by Huntresses at the 5-minute mark. But A, he late rushed somebody. You should commit to it if you're going to do that. And B, you need to get rid of the Huntresses after that. I mean, he hasn't quite switched over to anything. I mean, he's got the buildings up for Chippo, and he's actually going to have a pretty good gold advantage over everybody but Qwest when this is said and done, probably. However, he does desperately need to get some hero levels, or he's really not going to be in good shape.
He doesn't have a gold advantage over Ludix. Ludix does have no lumber still, though, which is obviously a problem. But, well, hold that thought. We might have a fight here. Now he's going to run. What was I saying? Oh, so a gold advantage isn't enough, and I've run into this problem a lot with Elf. If you get stuck with low heroes, and you have a huge gold advantage, but if there's an Orc with strong heroes, you need like triple their gold. I mean, because their heroes can just continually fight your army over and over, and you can never kill them. I don't know.
No,
that's my
I agree.
opinion.
And wow, Hawk's Blademaster goes down there.
Yeah, that was a good kill by Ludix.
No, I do agree. Sometimes when you're Elf, though, the best bet is to actually not fight the Orc and just to go for buildings.
Yeah.
Elf does have the nice advantage of it's extremely easy to take down Orc buildings for the most part, except for the towers late game. But you can go for the Voodoo Lounge first, which almost nobody produces 2 of them. So you take that down, and then you can work on the bestiaries, and from there it's just a question of chipping away as much as you can. And Rich here could be in trouble since Qwest has now gone for 80. He does have his 3-3 upgrades up.
It's not even 80, he's at 93.
Oh, really? I did not even check his account. So he's going full 100 to try and take down Rich, which, very good move on his part. That's exactly what he needs, I think.
I agree.
And Rich still at 45 food.
And he doesn't have enough lumber to produce an army. So, this is unacceptable as Night Elf, by the way.
Not to have wood?
Yeah. At this point
or to
in the
make
game.
this many towers.
Both. Okay, Qwest, micro a little bit, please. They're just towers. Come on.
He does have this Frostworm coming in, though. It should help.
You can freeze one tower.
I would say that is the advantage of Night Elf. You can't freeze multiple at the same time.
He said Abver.
Oh, that's who it was. Abver was supposed to play in the game, and I guess Rich doesn't realize that Qwest is not Abver.
It's not Abver. Now he's called QWERTY. Oh, too good.
Poor Qwest.
Gosh. I can't even ask because I can't stop laughing. Wow, that was awesome.
It does look like Hawk may be meeting his end right now.
Both Hawk and Rich will probably survive this, but
I was gonna say, if it takes that long to kill off a single expansion, and I
Yeah.
think he's got a little time to work with.
But he's not really
Um,
building an army. He's at 48 supply still.
he's building
So,
up a few hippos. The problem is he only has 3 Ancients of Wind,
yeah.
so it might take a little while.
Well, I can't really see. I know it's premature to call it, but I can't really see Ludix losing at this point. He's got the best heroes. He's got a strong base. He's got enough buildings for good macro. He's got over 10,000 gold. I mean, Qwest might be able to manip a 2v1, but I just don't know if Rich is the kind of person who's gonna really get into manip at all.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think Calypso is in a very good position right now. What worries me most, though, is his wood. And it looks like actually Qwest may be going to help Hawk right now, which may be a good move. We'll see how many bats he loses right here. Finally gets its stone form off. Does save a bunch of them. Can we get a scroll off that Lich, please? He does have this healing. There we go. Heals up the bat. So that was actually a very nice move on Qwest's part. And Qwest in relatively good position right now. Does go ahead and uses his items right now. His summons, I'm sorry. And they instantly die to the Blade Master with the... whatchamacallit?
Purge Orb, yeah.
Yeah, Purge Orb. But
that's not even what it's
Qwest,
called, but you know what I mean.
yeah, Orb of Lightning. There we go.
Qwest's micro was not the best there. His gargoyles were all focusing different heroes, but in general, it really wasn't that bad of a fight.
I was going to say, that went much better than I would have expected it to.
I definitely agree with you.
And most importantly, it's going to allow Hawk to rebuild and allow them to team Calypso down, probably. And look at Hawk using some manip. Good for him.
Good for him. Hey, good thought.
So we may just see Calypso get 3v1 now.
Well, I guess I did spook.
Way to go, Mog. Way to go.
I would say I jinxed it, but this is a replay, so...
I still blame you.
Okay.
And we are going to see that Death Knight hit level 6 soon, so boy, isn't that exciting.
I think this is the right move for Qwest. I mean, he's the one who initiated this action and saved Hawk. We'll see how Rich responds. It would be in my opinion, it's in Rich's best interest to team Calypso because he needs to somehow find a way to kill something so he can get experience. I mean, a level 1 Keeper of the Grove with 500 hit points against 666 Orc heroes. It's like a one-shot kill.
Yeah, it pretty much is. I mean, what Rich needs is a way to fight Qwest without there being any repercussions, because that panda is strong enough to take down the gargoyles right now, and he's not going to be able to kill anything from either of the Orc opponents right now.
Right. Well, if someone gets weakened enough to where Rich can somehow go in and finish him and get experience that way, I think that's his best bet. But he's sitting at 100 food, so he's obviously going to do something that I'm probably going to disagree with.
Well, he does have some chimeras. I know he's got some hippos somewhere. They're hiding on the corner of the map. And Rich has gone ahead and pulled his wisps out of his mine, so...
He also detonated, like, 6 or 7 wisps that were on lumber just now.
I missed that bit. But, let's see, what is his lumber at? So he's at 1,000. He's probably alright on lumber.
Yeah, I mean, he should put all those gold wisps that aren't mining anymore on
onto the lumber.
And he'd be fine.
Yeah.
Because he has 15 wisps sitting idle.
And we are going to go see Calypso completely demolish Qwest now, it looks like. Apparently he doesn't take people hitting him very lightly. And Qwest, I would be very scared if I were you, because now you are actually massively outgunned by Calypso.
Yeah. Oh, this is going to be ugly. TP. Please TP.
Yeah. I was going to say, this is one of those times where it's better to just go ahead and TP. We do see that Frostworm go down. Nice job on Qwest's part of getting those stone form gargoyles. However, why is he not TPing out yet? We're going to see a Hex stun on this Death Knight soon. And does get that potion off. But there...
Lich. It's going to live?
Nope.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, wow.
10 hit points.
Okay. So that was a little lucky.
Well, this is really bad for Qwest. And this is what I was saying. This is exactly what Rich needed. Rich needs to go and kill him right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, actually, this is the perfect time for him to hit, should he get in there. And we do see he manages to pull the gargoyles from Qwest. This is exactly what he was trying to do, I'm guessing. Interestingly enough, I don't see a single staff on Rich.
He had a... Oh, gosh. Rich. He had a dagger. He hazed the Gargs and then didn't blink up to kill him. Maybe it was out of vision. I don't know.
Bit of an oversight on that part, but it does look like we may see Calypso go ahead and fight Hawk again because Hawk was hitting Calypso. So it'll be interesting to see if he focuses. Nope, so he's going to go ahead. So we are going to see it broken down into 2v1, 1v1s, and this actually is probably the best case scenario that Rich could get at the moment.
Yeah, this is exactly what he needs. This is a great fight. It should be a great fight for him.
I was going to say, he needs to get some of these Chimeras out of the way, but he's got enough Hippogriffs that he can just let them A-move on it, and
Yep.
Calypso's Qwest heroes are good, but they're not that bad, or that good, and we should see the TP out of the Priestess of the Moon. Is it going to hide? Is it going to get away? Is it going to get away? No, 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 no,
Oh,
no.
gosh.
Well, he doesn't have a
Does he
staff.
not have a staff?
No, that's what I was saying earlier.
Oh, I don't listen to you. Sorry.
It's fine. I don't listen to me either. So we do
But
see Ludix went ahead and took down the expansion, so Qwest has to TP.
Well, he has 11,000 gold. He's not done, but
He's done. And Qwest calling teamers, that's really ironic.
I know.
Not to mention,
But
I'm pretty sure Rich has no idea he's teaming.
They might think he's dead, though. And Qwest is going to play dead. I mean, let's be real.
Yeah, but I feel like they're all kind of part of the cool
What
kid
is
solo club, and now
Ludix
somebody's going to finish them off.
Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
He just bladestormed in the middle of the map with no one around.
Maybe he thought the other Blade Master was nearby?
Oh, maybe. I wasn't really watching. I just noticed.
I didn't even see it, so.
It did happen, I swear.
Yeah.
Alright, everyone's going to go to the middle right now. This could be epic.
Yep. Could be, will be, maybe. Let's see. There we go. We do get a purge off on the Torn Chieftain, which is somehow still level 3. Not too good, that. And Ludix actually anticipates the Torn Chieftain getting further than it does. Gets a stomp off on 2 of the casters. And Hawk going to be in a little bit of trouble. Depends if it will be pushed.
Look at Hawk's lumber. This kills me.
You know?
I mean,
almost 100.
He's got the right main base expansion. All that lumber right there, and he's not...
Oof.
Oh, this was a bad fight.
So that's a lot of hippos not doing much right now.
Wow, and there goes that Keeper of the Grove. No surprise there.
Yeah. But speaking of lumber, actually, Calypso doing a very nice job with his lumber in the corner. I'm sure this is what you're talking about, he should be doing. But yeah, so if you're Orc, take note. Very good move to get your lumber like this.
Yeah, your main base runs out so quickly on this map. I know I play Elf mostly, so I don't run this a lot, but I play random on the bot, so I do kind of know a little bit about lumber management.
Yeah, sure you do.
Okay, I've played random for 9 years, you guys. I say you guys as in the whole community.
Look, Mog trying to be cool.
Look, I never won anything with any other race. Or any race, because I've never won anything.
Here we go,
Right,
we're going to get a nice
me.
Blade Storm here, I think. Nope, Calypso just going to kill them individually. 304, not a bad crit.
Yeah, it was only 272. Please do not fight this one-on-one. What are you doing?
You know, I kind of like Calypso's chance in that one.
Okay, Ludix has 2 levels greater, Bloodlust, and better items. What was your thought process? I really want to know.
I don't know. My thought process right now is, A, how did Rich manage to get 4 expansions?
I have
B,
no idea.
how does Rich only have 2,500 gold with 4 expansions and is natural?
Well, he has that 100 for a really long time, and this middle expansion's not mining, and the right middle expansion only has 1 wisp. So
you're right,
he basically has 3 gold mines.
Gotcha. Well,
But he has
fortunately,
a lot of
being killed
hypocrites.
off is just...
So
I was going to say, this would be a good time for War Chief Rich to go ahead and TP there, because that's exactly the fight he does want.
right, you don't want to run into bats with all those hippogriffs. You want to fight the undead.
At least. It will not be particularly effective if you just fight the orcs the way you are.
Gosh, Hawk, you cannot defend. Oh my gosh. You can't defend with 2 heroes against an 80 supply orc army.
You never know.
Unless your heroes are level 10 and they're level 3 and 5. Okay, well, Hawk is dead for.
Yeah, but we said that like 20 minutes ago too, so.
Well, he was dead 20 minutes ago.
He just came back to life.
He's just still in the game. To give
Fair
Ludix
enough.
more levels. Which is, I mean, don't get me wrong, this is exactly what Ludix should be doing.
Yeah.
I'm not criticizing him at all.
Wow, Qwest Gargoyles could really go down instantaneously.
Yeah. I was just looking at that. Oh.
I was gonna say probably best that Calypso didn't see those.
Oh my gosh, that'd be like we lose.
The whole team loses.
The whole team of one loses.
Well, I don't know. He may be predicting that they're all going to lose to Ludix anyway.
And he's probably gonna be right, because I think it's exactly what we're seeing here. Ludix has the most resources, has been fighting the most all game. I mean, he's just dominating the game.
Yeah, and I think if he does manage to make one person leave, he can take that 2v1 if he plays it right.
Yeah.
If they do all 3v1 him, I'm not sure he can do it. But once one person's out, then he's got a very good chance. And that was a very nice TP there.
Yeah, that was really good.
Too bad that there actually is the potion vulnerability and a scroll of town portal, so we are going to see the Death Knight get out of there safely.
Yeah. At least he had to use both of them.
Yep. I'm really surprised that there's not a TP on the Lich. That would seem to be smart in my opinion. He only has one on all three of his heroes, and Qwest plays a lot of free-for-all. You should at least have two, but if you put one on the Lich, then you get the benefit of allowing your Death Knight to be able to heal your other hero as you're TPing out, whereas if you've got the TP on the Death Knight, you TP the Death Knight out, that's pretty much 5 seconds to go ahead and take down either the Dark Ranger or the Lich, depending on
Especially
where you
if
are.
your Lich only has 775 health.
Yep, exactly.
Speaking of health, this Keeper of the Grove, 525.
Pretty soon that's just going to be a single critical from
Yeah.
Calypso's Blade Master.
He doesn't have any boots of speed either.
Yeah, that is something
Somewhere.
to talk about.
Swade is crying somewhere.
Yeah. And no boot to speed on the Panda either, which is somewhat made up for by...
Oh.
Ooh. Hey, at least he saved his Priestess of the Moon. Could have been worse.
He
No hero's dead.
would have killed that Keeper if he had targeted it a second earlier.
Yep, but he did drop 26 food there.
That's true.
And Qwest is going to go ahead and harass Calypso a little more.
Meanwhile, Hawk loses. Oh, no, it doesn't. Okay.
Interesting choice of when to use your Infernal there.
Well, I think he was pretty desperate.
Yeah, I would have thought he'd use it
Blade
earlier.
Master.
Be more desperate earlier. Blade
Yeah,
Master's not going to die. Does he have any Scrolls of the Town Portal?
no.
That's what I thought. So this could be the end of everything Hawk has.
That's why he used the Infernal Stone.
It continues to baffle me why solo players who have been playing this game for so long will focus down a level 7 Torn Chieftain.
Well, at this point...
Nice Scroll of Resurrection there,
That's
actually.
true, okay. No, I have no idea why you would try to do that.
I was say you don't really gain anything from killing it because it just comes back.
You are not dead. Those were that was really good batting. Wow. He just killed like 8 gargoyles?
Yeah, but that's almost like an even trade. I actually think that
No.
Calypso could have done a little better. It wasn't even,
How could
but...
he have done better? He got all the bats off, and they all hit clumped groups. Oh my gosh, a
Oof.
Shadowhunter.
So this actually could be the death of Calypso now, thanks to the heavy teaming.
I don't think so. I think he's gonna be okay.
Yep, looks like you're right. It is the death of the heroes for Qwest.
He's gonna run out of gold though. And you know what? Hawk is... He's not gonna win, but he's definitely gonna contribute to Ludix's death if Ludix does manage to lose.
Yep, and something of note, Calypso is actually food locked right now and not rebuilding any burrows, so he can only go up to 70.
Yeah, but he doesn't have any mining bases, so
Correct.
I think he's trying to play dead.
Which is hard to do when you have heroes that are that good, and
Yeah.
Rich says, oh wait, I thought that Hawk was Ludix again, and then goes ahead and kills Hawk.
And then kills him anyways. Alright, I'm gonna hold my bet on Ludix still winning this game.
I was going to say, well, that seems fair enough, and at this point I think that it's... I wouldn't call it a safe bet, but he is definitely the odds-on favorite, I would say. Because even though he is lower on gold, everybody else is as well. Qwest is the only one with more gold than him, I think. Not sure how much Rich has yet. So no, Rich is actually the lowest, despite the fact that it looks like he's got
amazing.
all those expansions.
Yeah, but he's not mining any of them. I mean, he is at 100, but
this actually could be what Rich needs. Is if he can finish off Hawk right here, get some good experience. I mean, he should be able to get level 6 on a couple heroes, maybe.
Yeah, this is really good.
Okay,
level 6 on the Priest of the Moon, level 4 Keeper of the Grove.
I was gonna say you get a good 2v1 against Calypso now, and I bet I bet Rich is able to take Qwest 1v1.
No, Ludix isn't gonna die right here.
I don't know.
I don't think
this is a tough army for Ludix to fight. I mean, he's got the heroes
he's
for
bats. He can hex Chims. That's a lot of towers. I don't know. We'll see.
If they go in 2v1 at the same time, I mean, I doubt that Rich will wait for that. I expect Rich will probably lose this fight, but I think that if they keep going for Calypso could be in a lot of trouble right now.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He has towered up well though, so that was probably a wise use of his gold there.
And he is building a burrow.
I don't really like the way that it's set up though, because that is really just asking for Death and Decay to come in there and tear it up.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But with Stomp and Hex, I don't think he's super worried. So meanwhile, Qwest is getting more gold. Good for him.
I was going to say, staying at 80. He's actually a little low on lumber, though.
He is. He was at 50 for a little bit, but I think he started getting worried when Hawk died.
As he should be. Since
yeah,
I don't think that
it's
Rich
kind of
would
risky to be at 50.
hitting him.
Especially since he didn't mass towers like he always does.
Because that really does a lot of good.
No, I'm saying it's probably good that he didn't.
Okay. I can agree with that.
It would just waste all of his resources. If Hawk isn't gonna, I'm sorry, not Hawk. Hawk's dead. If Rich isn't gonna hit someone right now, he needs to start mining. He needs to kill 3 Chims and 3 Wisps or something. But I mean, look at all these gold mines. He could be.
Yep, I agree.
Utilizing.
And he should have just gone in, made Calypso waste all his bats on his Chimeras, and then TP'd out, saving half of them. You're in good shape, and you go ahead and start mining. Hitting Qwest is not the best idea, on the other hand.
Not to mention, he's not been mining this long. No one's been hitting him. Everyone's going to think he has a lot of gold. So, I mean, especially free-for-all players, we tend to think this way. You know, you try to keep track in your head of what gold mines people are mining, how much they've been using, so you have a good idea of how much gold they have, and that way manip isn't as effective. Currently, I would think that Rich has 6,000, so I would definitely, like, in my head be thinking he's a target.
Yeah, and I wouldn't think that Calypso has 2,000 even. I'd think he was probably pretty much completely broke.
Yeah, I would too. Actually, no, I wouldn't, because I know he's a good free-for-all player, and you can always assume they have at least 1,000 or 2,000 to rebuild heroes, or buy items,
Maybe
or
if you're
hide a town hall,
hoarder
or
like
something.
you are.
Okay, well, it's not just me. Look at
You and
any
Renault?
recent games.
You're putting yourself in good company there, Mog.
You know what? He's won some things.
He has. An interesting usage of the bat here, not particularly good. Does actually comes in better at the end, but the early start there was not overly good. He focused a little bit too much on the hippogriffs, I think, but then again, I suppose that he still does have all his wind riders to go ahead and try and take out the chimeras.
Yeah, he did focus mostly on Chims. I mean, I think he did a good job, but then he saw his hippos come in. Oh, this is bad.
That Priest of the Moon, yeah. That would be a good time to have a staff, by the way.
Yes, which totally baffles me. How does a solo player not have a staff?
Very unsure, and he almost didn't get that panned out in the TP.
Well, Qwest is in really good shape now.
Yeah, he is. I'm somewhat surprised that Ludix is not trying to remine now. He's down to 50, and this seems like a good time to just survive with your heroes, not produce any more bats, and instead start mining from both the center middle mine and the left mine, which has a total of 17,000 between the two of them.
Yeah, especially that left one. Not many people have been scouting it.
Mm-hmm. Actually, he does have a mine on the right. I didn't even notice that.
Oh, I didn't either.
He has one where Hawk's old mine was. So
Okay.
Calypso
Good job,
is mining at
Phoenix.
50. Yeah, so good for him. He must have just recently put that
And
up.
that's even a better spot because Qwest, I was wrong. He has been shade scouting that left mine, and Rich is much less likely to scout anything.
Yeah,
So
did he even get Owl on his Priest of the Moon?
I don't think so.
What did he get?
No,
Flame
no, no. I'm
arrows?
sorry. Yeah, of course he did. He's been using the owl all game to fly over his army to kill like wards
You're
and
right.
shades
Yep.
and stuff.
I forgot about that.
I've been like watching them all game, but he doesn't use them to scout like Renault or something.
I was gonna say, which is pretty much a permanent map hack when you get to level 3 because those owls just
gosh.
don't die.
I
which
had
is
no
awesome.
idea how good level 3 scout owl was until I used it.
Yeah, it's a huge game changer. And actually, people will get teamed down for that on
The
occasion.
expansion, he has 4 gold mines. Oh, Rich.
I was gonna say, he's mining at 50 though, so he is getting a ton of gold.
So
from
smart.
this.
Yeah. It's about time he got gold.
Well, he is only gonna have 3 soon, so that might be why he needs an expansion.
I don't know. Oh, he's creeping his Keeper of the Grove. That's good. Please buy items for that. It's killing me.
Oof, poor Calypso is gonna see his expansion go up in flames soon.
That's not good.
And actually, Rich is already level 5. Never mind.
That Cloak of Flames is really helping out right here.
It's earning its worth right now.
Oh. Alright, so Ludix is going to expand to the left. Good choice.
Yep,
Right
but it's gonna
under
be
the
scouted
shade, unfortunately.
by the shade instantaneously.
Oh, look at that map hack. You put that ward down right there. And Qwest is going to... Oh, this is not good.
No, this is not good at all for Calypso. This is one of those cases where you can pretty much be overwhelmed by sheer force of army.
Yeah. He does have great heroes, and they are orc, so he might win this fight. We'll see.
I was gonna say it'll depend. I think if he can go for a hero and get them to TP out early, then that's gonna be in good shape. The problem is if he goes for this
Hex.
Death Knight.
Oh, he missed the hex. He got a gargoyle.
That
Oh,
actually, we were gonna
gosh.
see that Blade Master go down. You did not expect to see that early, but nice job using that silence there. And wow,
There was-
so
Was there? What's the Oncon? Oh, I didn't know the Tarn Chieftain died.
blink,
Use your blink dagger.
Blink. Did he already use that? Is that on cooldown?
I don't think so. I think he just didn't realize he had it.
Oh. So yeah, that actually is a true call of GG from Calypso, I suspect, unless Rich can go ahead and hit Qwest at the moment.
Well, and Rich might maybe save him. We'll
We are
see.
going to see a scout. My owl scouts will see.
Good for you, Rich. 50 minutes in the game, you're gonna scout with your owls.
Not on the correct places, but
True. But you know what? For all of the, I don't know, bad manner, I guess, towards Rich's play this game, he is in a position where he could win. In fact, he shouldn't win, but he could.
it depends how many of the gargoyles get lost to
I
these
was
towers.
just gonna say that. How much Qwest
I think we're up to
loses here.
3 now. 4,
And
5, 6, 7.
oh gosh, way too much. Pull back, dude.
I was going to say, so Qwest has dropped to 79 food from 100. However, this Death and Decay is really doing a ton of damage right now. Death Knight getting a little low. Death Knight could die to towers too.
My gosh.
Death Knight does die to towers, so it's too bad that the towers cannot level up because Calypso's towers are dominating.
Holy crap, Qwest.
So actually,
How
this
much-
may be how
how much
Rich
supply?
manages to pull out a win, is by Calypso's towers killing Qwest, and then
Qwest-
Qwest killing Calypso.
Qwest lost 65 supply to towers, basically.
Yeah. As and it'll take him pretty much all the gold, and he has no wood.
Wow.
20, 50 wood, 20 wood. He can't rebuild. And Calypso is going to manage to take out pretty much the rest of the army with his
With
Blade
the Blade
Master.
Master. This is crazy. I cannot believe what I'm seeing. This is...
And Rich is up to 9,000 gold, pretty much.
And this is why solo players say free-for-all players can't micro.
Yeah, there may be
ruining
some
it for all of
truth to
us.
that.
Oh gosh, that was really sad to see. It's so weird because I mean Qwest's micro has been worse than the other players, but that's to be expected. But his micro hasn't been so bad, you know? I mean, in big fights he's done decently well. I don't know what that was.
There we go. Look at Rich going and helping out his friend Calypso. Down goes that shade. Maybe. Nope. He can micro the shade, though.
If you had used those clicks in the battle, they would have upped your APM from 5 to maybe 10
Down
or
it goes.
15.
Poor Qwest.
I mean, I always nitpick players for micro and like decisions and stuff when I'm casting or observing, but I never make those decisions or
Well, the problem is he's playing the
micro when
wrong
I'm playing.
race, because Undead you actually do have to micro. He's playing like a
Yeah.
Night Elf player.
I take offense to that.
No, you
Just kidding.
resemble that,
No,
as
I
do
don't.
I.
I just click my hippos and pray for the best.
Exactly. If you want to just run stuff into towers and kill it, then chimeras are the tool for you.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes you have to pull them back because they'll like inch toward the towers.
Yeah, they start
You know what I
disobeying
mean?
you. It is like, wait a minute, you have a 650 range, the tower's 500, how are you possibly being hit?
Exactly. They like push each other into the towers. I've lost so many chims that way from not paying attention.
Yep, same. Rich is up to 10,000 and is armying up, so he is going for primarily anti-undead army, probably smart move on his part.
Yeah, Ludix has nothing. Except Ludix is mining. So we'll see.
Yeah, but Rich scouted that, actually.
Yeah, but Rich knows he's dead.
True.
So Rich I think is gonna let that live. 'Cause, I mean, he also sorry. He also scouted the main base.
Damn it, Mog. Go ahead.
There we go. He's got the main base. He knows that the fortress is down, half his base is down, all the towers are down. So in Rich's head, you know, Ludix is just an ally at this point because his Blade Master is going to help him a lot against Qwest.
Yep, and Calypso has gone ahead and said he's going to suicide Qwest like 4 times this game.
And
So
look at Qwest. Because of all that army he lost, he's now at 369 gold. He was at like 9,000 when he hit Ludix the first time. I mean, it's just...
the most interesting question here will be, will he lose any gargoyles to these towers?
Yes. Yes, he will.
I don't know, that's pretty hard. They don't
It's hard to
exactly do anything.
But I think Qwest can do it.
And, wow, we may actually see the Blade Master go down depending on how long the silence takes to wear off.
Oh, wow, it's close.
Just barely gets off in time. And Qwest probably now just realizing, oh shit, Rich has a lot of expos, actually.
Yep. This is going to be the first free-for-all game I've ever seen Rich win. Barring a total collapse.
I was gonna say, well, we've already called like 3 different winners in this game, so I think
No,
the
I
only one
called
you didn't
Ludix
call
winning.
was Hawk. And then you said that Qwest should win.
I said he should win, but I said Ludix was still going to win.
I don't know.
I
You're a
should have
little
just
sketchy
looked
on
at
these
who won the
statements.
game before. That way I would have sounded smarter.
You know, I was trying to fool everybody into thinking that this was live. Way to go.
It is. We already ruined it because remember I said I had to ping, or I
Yeah,
tried to
I was
ping earlier.
But
Killing
you're pretty
me.
much just a ruiner of everything that's nice. And here comes a huge Hippogriff army and big,
Oh,
no breath of
gosh.
fire that I see, actually. Just a drunken haze.
Not well. He got silenced. I thought,
Oh, did he? Okay, I can't. Yes, he did. I can't see through the hippos.
giving him the benefit of the doubt. It doesn't matter. He's dominating the fight.
I'm now watching this Frostborn die from a
And
level
this
angle.
This is a nice. This is a problem that undead players have that aren't named Maga, or more recently Duck does this as well, where you have to kite Night
Yep.
Elf armies. You have Nova. Your Lich at this point in the game has so much mana. You have a high level aura to where you can outrun the Elf army, and you should at least have a few Destros, at least one, to where Entangle shouldn't be enough to, isolate you. And it really destroys armies. I remember my finals game last season where I lost a Sexy's 50 supply, and I think I had like 80 or 90. It was one of the most embarrassing moments. But he kited really well, and I didn't fight properly. And you get into that mindset where you think, I have a huge army supply, I have a gold supply. I can just go for it, and then you get kited to death, and then you look like an idiot.
Yep, pretty much. And if that situation does happen, I mean, what you need to do is you need to go to the base and make them fight you there. Because as a Night Elf player, Undead is either the easiest race to face or the hardest. If you get a bad Undead, then it's simple. You just move your Hippogriffs in, you attack move, and there you go. It's handed to you. But an Undead that is kiting is impossible to take down in the middle of the field unless you get extraordinarily lucky or they screw up. However, they do have a big disadvantage of their base is absolute jack shit, so if you can get it there, then it works out well. And Pandarian Brewmaster, almost level 6.
Yeah, decent batting by Ludix. He still has a chance to win this game.
He does indeed, and that was actually, that was good batting. The problem, though, was Rich, as Night Elf, should have led with just the Hippogriffs to attack the bats and kept his Chimeras back until the bats are gone.
Well, the problem is that Rich has 8,000 more gold than Ludix and multiple mining bases. But you're right. He should have kept the chimps back and led with the Hippogriffs. You don't want this huge flock of Hippogriffs against Orc.
No, you're happy if they get killed off. Because you'd rather have a pure 100 food Chimera army at the moment.
Yep. Maybe a few Talons. A few Micro. Which we don't, so we never build them.
I was going to say, that's like building a Druid with a claw. Why would you do that?
I don't know. I think it has like this ability that roars or something. I've never used it because I don't build lures.
It's also got this ability called walk into Chimera friendly fire and die.
Yeah, I mean, I only have one control group, so obviously my chimps are going to hit my bear.
It's pretty much impossible to stop, actually.
We're such good players.
We are. Well, you're a player. I retired.
Well, I still don't really micro very well. But that's okay.
I was going to say, you figured out the key to success is Night Elf. You don't really have to.
Exactly. That's why I stopped playing random and started playing Night Elf. Actually, you probably don't know this because you didn't know me back when I played solo, but for like my 2-year solo, I can't call it a career, but I did League a lot, and I actually only went tier 1 mass hunts every game against every race, and I just built different heroes depending on which race I was versus. And I Ancient Protector rushed every single game.
I was going to say, that actually sounded a lot like how I played Night Elf.
It's a lot like Warchief Rich also. It's kind of like the Night Elf 1v1 trend. If you're not at the top level where you build lures and stuff, but I don't know if you remember like OC and Cowie and stuff.
Yep.
They were like.
There we go. Nice usage of the Hippogriffs this time against. Unfortunately, that panda's going to die, but. And that was how you should be using your Hippogriffs.
Kill that weak gem. Come on. Good job.
Down it goes.
If Ludix wins this game, it is going to be quite a miracle.
I was going to say, weird things have happened.
Look, he's got another expansion in the middle. He needs to build peons.
He's getting there, though. And he does have a hidden peon down in the bottom right.
But he can't build. He only has... He only has...
Patience, young Mog. Patience.
But Rich isn't mining. His wisps were all pulled out of gold.
I was going to say, that may be advice I gave him where I said, don't mine in high upkeep, and he may be taking it a little too literally right now.
Right, I mean, but at this point in the game...
Yeah.
It's okay to mine in high upkeep.
I may not have been entirely clear.
No, but, you think he could figure that out. He's still going to win.
He should.
I need to stop saying that, because...
Because I'm wrong every time for everybody.
Exactly.
So this Blade Master is actually pushing it. If it gets one more entangle on it...
Go to the fountain.
And
go to the fountain, young one. Oh, gosh.
Down it goes. That should be a good game. But Rich was focusing a little too much on the heroes. He should be focusing down the casters first in that situation, because a lot of what the Orc is able to do with its heroes is due to the casters, and they don't move nearly as quickly as the Blade Master does. You can focus on the Blade Master later, or if you get a great opportunity, but there are a lot of easy chances to take out all 6 of these casters beforehand.
Right. Luke's to get another expansion up, but losing that Blade Master is going to be the end, unfortunately.
Yep, it very well should be. And there we do see the Chimera's trying to focus it down a little bit. We should see this Shadow Hunter go down. Does have a potion of healing on it, which I'm not too sure will do too much.
Not a fan of those. He's gonna maybe kill the Keeper of the Grove.
I was gonna say, honestly, Rich may lose all his heroes yet again. I'm
It
not sure
doesn't
it'll make
even
much
matter.
difference.
Yeah,
There we go. It does go take the down Shadow Hunter. And that Priest of the Moon looking pretty beefy there with 1,325 hit points on it.
it's true. And I don't remember what I was gonna say. He did sell his claws of 15 or transfer them to a different hero.
Well, he had claws of 6 because he had 9 and 6.
Okay.
I didn't even notice that the Pandarian Brewmaster came back.
Me either. Because at this point it doesn't matter.
Nope. I do want to see it ultimate before the game is done, though.
Sorry, Ludix. He used Starfall earlier.
No, ultimate for the Panda.
Oh. You see that enough. You don't need to see it again. Like,
Thanks.
every player goes to Panda. Like,
Well, every Night Elf one at least, yeah.
yeah. And apparently lately, Undeads too.
Yeah, just a few of them, though. I'm not sure how I feel about that trend.
Yeah, I don't really like it.
As a Night Elf player, I do like it, actually. But as a competition for a good Undead player, I don't. Because I would much rather have a Panda mixed into the match than
I mean,
a
I
Dreadlord.
think the Panda is good for every race, but you just have to sacrifice more with other races.
Yeah.
Because their other heroes are better. Elf, would you rather have a Keeper of the Grove or a Panda? I mean, really.
Well, and you can usually have both.
Yeah, right.
Oof.
Unless you go Warden, you never know.
Renault does try that every now and then.
Yeah, he does. Maybe that's why we've seen him decline in wins recently.
Well, the Warden
Sorry,
also gets a little
Renault.
more micro. Also, Rich, this would be a good time to stop chasing the hero and go
I
kill
know,
the
just
base.
go kill him. Come on.
We may actually see the
The
Blade
Blade
Master come
Master's
back in this.
it is almost back, and he has enough, I think, to get the Shadow Hunter. Maybe. We're just taking the expansions. He wants to be super safe here. He hasn't mined gold most of the game, but at this point,
I was gonna say, I think at some point Calypso's just gonna get bored and say, "All right, I'm done."
although Rich is down to 2,500 gold, which is still way more than the 300 that Calypso has, but
I would say he also has 8 chimeras or 10 chimeras though, and 5
he's got
expansions.
bats. He's getting bats. Bats are pretty good, Mage. Bats are pretty good.
Takes 3 to kill a single chimera. They are
And
pretty
they have
good.
splash, so just hope he clumps them all up.
Yeah, I just don't see that happening. I do see this Keeper of
Has-
the Grove dying again, but
I don't. Has Calypso used that dagger at all on his target?
yeah, a couple times.
Oh.
Not often, but
Well, I obviously haven't been watching this game very closely.
I didn't expect you to. It's fine.
That's
And
why I
there we
kept
go,
saying other
GG.
people are gonna win.
All right,
Oh man, that was a weird one.
that
I
was.
mean, it was entertaining. It had a lot of action. Not I wouldn't recommend it for a new free for all player trying to learn
No,
free for all.
don't
I don't think
watch
you're
any
gonna
of this
win.
in here.
I don't think you're gonna you're not gonna win a lot of games playing like Rich played, but Ludix. I mean, I think Ludix actually played a pretty good game, and if this was FML, he would have gotten 11 points.
Yep. Which, what he's talking about is in the Free For All Masters League, if you have the highest total score, but you do not win the game, you get 11 points. First place that wins the game gets 25, second and third place 10, and fourth place 5 points. But alright, let's do a couple of quick takeaways for all our players before we get out of here. I'll go ahead and start with Calypso. I thought he played a nice game, but he reverted a little bit towards the solo trend that he started off with. I've certainly seen him play better games, and I think that in his games with more free-for-all players, he probably plays at a higher level.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I'll
Wanna
move on
take
to
Rich?
Qwest, who actually
Qwest, okay.
played he actually played a decent game. His beginning was really not very good, and I was thinking he was probably gonna die early, especially seeing him get double harassed and then not getting expansions up. But apart from that, he came back well. He mined at 50 food at the right times, and for the most part was unscouted. And he built himself a great gold advantage, but he didn't focus so much on the gold advantage that he didn't get high level heroes. You know what I mean? Undead, you have to have strong enough heroes to fight, because if you don't, no matter how much gold, you're not going to win. So he had a good balance. He had strong enough heroes to fight. He had the most gold. We saw him take some really poor engagements. Not even poor engagements. It was just really poor micro in those engagements that lost him the game. So other than that, I mean, looking at the whole game though, he played all right.
Yep.
Who are you gonna take?
I'll go for a Hawk. I think that Hawk showed improvements in some areas. He actually talked during this game. I think that is something that's very important in free for all. I mean, you don't have to manip, but you have to be at least willing to chat with your opponents. And if somebody is not scouting well on their own, you have to make sure that you are informing them what's going on. It sucks that you have to make up for the lack of talent from some other players, but the result otherwise would be you get 2v1'd. I think his weakest part was definitely his creeping. He had terrible creeping early on, and he went. Actually, I'm not sure why he had such bad creeping. I'd have to rewatch that. I'm suspecting his creep routes weren't very good,
No,
and
he
getting
didn't
four
get
grunts early on was not the best choice.
just to because I remember his creep route. He went to the middle and got those weird orange camps that drop
Mm-hmm.
tomes. Instead of getting a gold mine up, he got his first expansion up by the time Ludix had two, and Ludix didn't get expansions fast either. So
Yeah,
I mean, his first expansion was really late, and the fact that he was left alone while the other two players were harassing Qwest, it was kind of just unacceptable in a
which
free
was
for all sense.
going to bring me into the second point for Hawk, which was his macro is just not very good. He was still making the mistakes of being at 53, 55, 62, something like that. He didn't have enough burrows to go up to 80 or up to 100 when he was getting attacked, and his production buildings were at 2 each. If you're going to be able to compete at that level and you want to stay at 50 for a while, you need to be able to instantaneously jump at least to 80 from your buildings within a minute or two. But I think that he absolutely has the micro to compete at that level, and I think if he was interested and willing to play some more free-for-all, then he has a lot of potential. But in this game, I actually felt like he played very poorly.
Sorry, my phone is going off
I
with a
can hear that
dust
you have a
warning.
weather alert.
Yeah, I was like, oh gosh, dust
Alright.
storm warning, but you don't have those where you live.
No, I don't.
All right, so that leaves me with Rich. Thank you.
No problem, buddy.
He did win the game, so I can't critique him too hard, but I'm going to do my very best because there were a lot of things to critique in this game. His opening, I know he loves to open with hunts, and you know what? I'm not even against that. If you can build your playstyle around that and be successful, like that's awesome. It's unique. It's your signature, so to speak. But his opening was not good. On this map, he wasn't able to creep with it. He tried to do a hunt rush against Hawk and failed miserably. He was left with not a lot of gold. His tech, he started teching to tier 2 when Ludix and Hawk were at tier 3, which is, I mean, it's just ridiculous. I mean, especially as a night elf. So his opening, I don't like in this game. But then as the game went on, you know, he got enough expansions up. He started playing better. His creeping was really poor. He had the worst out of all 4 players. His heroes, I mean, I think they were what 4-4-1 when Ludix was 5-5-4 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean that's a huge hero disparity from creeping, and especially he had the time to creep. So he started playing better as the game went on, but he definitely needs to work on his openings. The other thing I want to critique is his lumber, especially when Qwest went to hit him. When Qwest went to 100, and Rich shouldn't have died, and he didn't die, but he could have died because of his lumber. He only had like 50 or 100, but he had like 6,000 gold or something. And also the moonwells, you know, especially as an elf, it's not even just about supply. Moonwells are like your best building, so they're pretty amazing. You should have a lot of them. Those are things. If he improves on those things, you know, Rich could be a really good player. He's got good micro, and I think he knows the game. You know, look at this game for instance. He made the right decisions, sort of, on who to hit and when to hit them. It was just kind of like the minor details that all kind of added up to not a stellar game. You know what I'm saying?
I do. And I agree with you. I think the potential is there. It's just he needs to take it a little more seriously, practice a little more, and decide if he wants to play free-for-all the free-for-all way or the solo way.
Well, and to elaborate on that point, I don't even want to make like, you know, people are like, oh, solo players can't play free for all because they just hit everything. And you know what? We've seen players win with that style. But you have to kind of tone it down a little bit to where I'm not saying you have to sit in your base on 50 food and hoard until you have 20,000 gold, because that's how the free for all way to play is. But at some point you have to have a plan to win the whole game rather than just your plan to take out one player.
And if you are going to take out one player, you should actually take them out. And
yeah,
not
that
let
too.
up. I mean, don't hit them. If it doesn't work, don't go hit somebody else. Figure out a way to completely finish that person off, because odds are you've ruined that person's game, and now their goal is going to be try and ruin yours, unless they very successfully rebuffed it and are in good position, in which case they're going to be looking at a chance to tome you.
Right. So congratulations to Rich for winning. I can't say it was the best game, but you know what? He did win, and I obviously can't take that away from him.
Nope.
So he has so much potential, like you said. We'll see if that turns into a Ludix kind of success, where Ludix has been very successful in the free for all scene lately, or if he kind of goes a different route to where we've seen solo players come and show a few good games every now and then kind of just fade away. So we'll see what happens with him. But he obviously enjoys playing the game, and yeah, we'll see.
Yep, well, certainly going to hope for the former. Thank you for joining me on this cast, Mog. Any parting words for the fans?
Thanks for having me. I don't really have any parting words. Sorry
Fair
to
enough.
Maga for my latest game, and I hope, well, thanks to the admins, I guess. You guys do a great job. I've really enjoyed playing in FML. Also, shout out to Ugri with his amazing bot ladder. It's really renewed my passion for Warcraft. I mean, it's amazing to see so many players who have played for so long, myself included. I started playing in 2001. Yeah, so it's kind of incredible to think I'm still playing the game. But it's you guys that make that possible, so thank you guys. And hopefully we see more in the future.
Yep, absolutely. And if you want to watch Mog playing, I believe we will be streaming it. I think it's going to be a week from this Sunday. So that would be Sunday, April 6th, probably. He is currently in first place in the Free For All Masters League. So best of luck to you. If you're watching this live on the stream, you can check out all of our other shoutcasts, others with Mog included, at youtube.com/freeforallmasters. That's youtube.com/FFA Masters. And like us on Facebook at facebook.com/FFA Masters. This is Mage.
And this is Mog.
Later.